Good day, everybody. This is Sarah Sieg Evignoni bringing you Element 6 Appreciation of Ascended Worlds course in Worthiness. Today, I'm assuming you've done your workbook, like we always suggest. We're talking about appreciation and value. I'll read the prompt here real quick. I appreciate and value myself. I am always appreciated and valued. I allow myself to be appreciated and valued. I began looking up definitions of appreciation, and it was thankful recognition, things like that. And another one that surprised me was that they indicated it was judgment based. So I thought that was interesting to factor that in, since we talk a lot about expanded consciousness and where judgment falls within that, as well as value, uh, the judgment of what's important. So, in order to value something, you have to judge it as important. So, when we look at that in terms of worthiness, how are we viewing ourselves? And as you can see, since we started out with being worthy to be here, we had to start there to be able to build and look at all these other facets of worthiness to be able to come to this place of seeing the fine degrees we have of unworthiness, to shift into worthiness, to make that whole facet of worthiness, if that makes any sense at all. Or look at it like the onion, peeling back the layers of the unworthiness to reveal that worthiness within. So, in looking at appreciation and value, it it comes from within. And if we start with our worthiness to simply be here, of course, in order for others to appreciate and value us, it's almost a reflection of the appreciation and value we find within ourselves about ourselves, which is so key in everything we do, is recognizing that what we observe in others is simply that reflection from within ourselves. So in this appreciation and value, it, for myself, I have looked at what I do appreciate and what I do value, and then compare, am I seeing myself in that same judgment? Am I seeing myself in that same positive, appreciative, caring, giving light? And until recently, pretty much the answer was no. And I recognize that, and I see how that is reflected in so many things that I encounter in my creations. And if we start from a place of unworthiness, we're going to end up accomplishing that unworthiness reflection back to us. So, from the perspective of appreciation and value, how can I appreciate myself more? How can I recognize where I'm not appreciating and valuing myself? Those are some key things to be aware of as you're moving through your days, and as you did your workbook. What came up for you in in the feelings that you felt? Is it a sense of emptiness? Is it a sense of that's what's missing? I know that ever since I began working with this unworthiness course, there's worthiness course, so much has come up for me to look at, and it's almost hard to separate these elements out. But I think the way Angela and I have structured this whole thing is, if we just allow the focus to be on those specific items, we'll find it a very successful path to that whole worthiness. So in looking at appreciation and value, how can I appreciate and value myself if I'm not even aware that I'm not? So bringing the awareness back to that place of understanding what appreciation and value is, and then looking and examining and observing where you're not being appreciated. And so many of us enjoy not being appreciated and valued because it gives us that motivation to work harder, strive for more. And if I put the need for the appreciation and value on others, it absolves me of that responsibility for myself, which I think is so important to look at in this particular aspect and this particular element, because it's simply a reflection of us, not vice versa. So versus looking for it externally, if we find it internally, we reflect it outwardly, and then that reflects back to us. So if we can just get that cycle turned around by finding the appreciation and value within ourselves, it will then be reflected back to us. So let's go find that vibration of holding that as our truth. And I will read our clearing statement for today. I am worthy to remember how to and allow myself to be valued and appreciated, most of all by me. So let's take that deep breath, sit back, close your eyes, and open our hearts to the vibration of that as our truth. All right, one more deep breath. Oh, that was really nice. That was really nice. I saw a very tarnished piece of jewelry, um, and take the polishing cloth and just rub and let just the luster come through, and the light, and the the ability to allow it to reflect back the light, to magnify the reflection. That was incredible. And I heard a phrase. What was the phrase? Um, well, it's already gone. Okay. So thank you for joining me outside of space and time for that lovely meditation and clearing. So, our post video affirmation: I am worthy to be valued and appreciated. I am innately valuable. So, use that in your daily affirmations, your meditations, your lucid dreaming, your journaling, however, you've already incorporated affirmations into your day. And thanks for joining me, and we will see you for the next element. Thank you so much.